Welcome to What Shall We Read? True stories forgotten in the world's archives. My name is Yasmin. I do professional voiceovers and narrations, so if you'd like to collaborate, reach out to connect. Today, we're taken back to the true story of Mr. John Malcom and the mob who demanded justice, from 1774 in the New-Hampshire Gazette and Historical Chronicle. The New-Hampshire Gazette and Historical Chronicle, from Portsmouth, New Hampshire, February 4th, 1774. Last Tuesday, about 2 o'clock, Mr. George Robert Twelves Hughes was coming down along 4th Street, near Captain Ridgway's, and found the redoubted John Malcom standing over a small boy who was pushing a little sled before him, cursing, damning, threatening, and shaking a very large cane with a very heavy ferrule on it over his head. The boy at the time was perfectly quiet, notwithstanding which Malcom continued his threats of striking him, which Mr. Hughes, conceiving if he struck him with that weapon he must have killed him outright, came up to him and said to him, "Mr. Malcom, I hope you are not going to strike this boy with that stick." Malcom returned, "You are an impertinent rascal. It is none of your business." Mr. Hughes then asked him, what had the child done to him? Malcom damned him and asked him if he was going to take his part. Mr. Hughes answered no further than this, that he thought it was a shame for him to strike the child with such a club as that, if he intended to strike him. Malcom, on that damned Mr. Hughes, called him a vagabond and said he would let him know he should not speak to a gentleman in the street. Mr. Hughes returned to that he was neither a rascal nor vagabond, and though a poor man, was in as good credit in town as he was. Malcom called him a liar, said he was not, nor ever would be. Mr. Hughes retorted, "Be that as it will, I never was tarred nor feathered anyhow." On this, Malcom struck him and wounded him deeply on the forehead, so that Mr. Hughes for some time lost his senses. Captain Godfrey, then present, interposed, and after some altercation, Malcom went home, where the people gathering round he came out and abused them greatly, saying, "You say I was tarred and feathered, and that it was done in a proper manner. Damn you, let me see the man that dare do it better. I want to see it done in the new-fashioned manner." After Malcom had thus bullied the people some time, Mr. Usher, the constable, had persuaded him into the house. Mrs. Malcom threw up a sash and begged the people to go away, and Malcom came suddenly behind her and, pushing his naked sword through the opening, pricked Mr. Waddell in the breast, the bone stopping its course, which would otherwise have reached his vitals. Mr. Waddell, on this, made a stroke at the window with his cane and broke a square of glass, through which breach he again made a pass and slightly wounded Mr. Waddell, who a second time returned the blow, and Malcom withdrawing, the people dispersed. Mr. Hughes, after having his wound taken care of, went to Justice Quincy and took out a warrant for Malcom and gave it to a constable who went to Malcom's house to serve it, but found the door shut again and was told by him from a window that he would not be taken that day, as he should be followed by a damned mob, but would surrender tomorrow afternoon. Here the matter appeared to subside, till in the evening the people being informed of the outrages he had committed, the threatenings and defiances he had uttered, and among other things that he would split down the Yankees by dozens and receive 201 points sterling a head for everyone he destroyed, they mustered and went to his house, which being barred against them, and he menacing with his loaded pistols, which he declared he would fire upon them if they came near him, they got ladders, and beating in an upper window, entered the house and took him without loss of blood, and dragging him out, put him on a sled, and amidst the huzzas of thousands brought him into King Street. Several gentlemen endeavored to divert the populace from their intention, alleging that he was open to the laws of the land, which would undoubtedly award a reasonable satisfaction to the parties he had abused. They answered he had been an old, impudent, and mischievous offender. He had joined in the murders at North Carolina. He had seized vessels on account of sailors having a bottle or two of gin on board. he had in office and otherwise behaved in the most capricious, insulting, and daringly abusive manner, and on every occasion discovered the most rooted enmity to this country and the defenders of its rights, that in case they let him go, they might expect a like satisfaction as they had received in the cases of Richardson to the soldiers and the other friends of government. With these and such like arguments, together with a gentle crowding of persons not of their way of thinking out of the ring, they proceeded to elevate Mr. Malcom from his sled into a cart, and stripping him to buff and breeches, gave him a modern jacket and hied him away to Liberty Tree, where they proposed to him to renounce his present commission, and swear that he would never hold another inconsistent with the liberties of his country. But this he obstinately refusing, they then carried him to the gallows, passed a rope round his neck, and threw the other end over the beam as if they intended to hang him. But this maneuver he set at defiance. They then basted him for some time with a rope's end, and threatened to cut his ears off, and on this he complied, and then brought him home.